GST was an extraordinary reform. The overall rationalization into fewer slabs is very much on the cards. GST reforms will put more money in the pocket of consumers.
On the 79th Independence Day, Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi's speech was very inspiring. It aligned with the aspirations of 1.4 billion people of this country. Last lines, of course, which are very motivating. This is the time of India. Yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai.
GST reform which the Prime Minister has announced as a Diwali gift will be a remarkable one.
GST was an extraordinary reform, and it was committed that GST will not increase tax on the general public. But it has gone up in some pockets like mobile phones and electronics. So the overall rationalization into fewer slabs is very much on the cards because we have to prepare for Vixit Bharat 2047. So that requires a completely different vyavastha, as they say. And I think GST reforms will put more money in the pocket of consumers. It will stimulate demand and it will be good for the industry and the consumers. Yes, most goods will become cheaper. That's the anticipation. The entire council will have to decide on this. But there is definitely need for reduction in GST. For example, mobile phones, pre-GST, the total tax was around 5% to 10% in terms of excise duty plus VAT. And now, and then it was fixed at 12 and then it went up to 18%. So in certain areas like this, like color television, which is at 28%, and air conditioners, there is a need for reduction immediately and rationalization immediately. These are very testing times and the nation is being tested, but he exhorted us that every small pocket of value creation which is possible, and there is nothing which is not on the table. This is an extraordinary step that a task force is being set up because the entire vyavastha now has to be made ready for 2047, Vixit Bharat. So his resolve was very, very resolute. You could see it in every word, every breath of what he was saying. And we are feeling very motivated by this address.
On the 79th Independence Day, Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi's speech was very inspiring and it aligned with the aspirations of 1.4 billion people of this country. Prime Minister focused on the welfare and the contribution of youth, contribution of the industry and contribution of the farmer, and also how we all can contribute in our own way for India to become Vixit Bharat, develop India by 2047. And Prime Minister has also talked about the next generation reforms, especially GST reforms by October and Vixit Bharat Rozgar Yojana for youth, which is going to benefit more than 3.5 crore youths who are going to join the workforce in coming years. And he has also talked about, while negotiating the trade agreements with various countries, how the interest of farmers, how the interest of each and every citizen of this country will be taken care of. Because the interest of our citizens will be at the top. So he has also talked about how we all can contribute for India to become self-reliant, whether it is clean energy, whether it is technology, and how we can create ecosystem of innovation in our country. For this, he called upon each and every citizen. And his last lines, of course, which are very motivating, this is the time of India, yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai.
The Prime Minister announcement is basically to announce that 8 years have gone for the GST and we have a lot of experience, collections have improved. I believe the data analysis which is being carried out, AI being used, on that basis, GST Council is seized of these issues. You will recall when this GST was introduced, it was introduced as one nation, one tax, and the idea was to bring at least, if not more, but at least two rate structure. But considering the fact that it was a transition happening from VAT to GST, first time experience, so there was a possibility that the revenue collection may not be of that level which the government expects. So the government has gone with the 4 tax rates, 6, 12, 18 and then 28%. Now I believe after 8 year experience, the thought process is that we should try to reduce this number of tax rates. And what I see is there will be 2 tax rates. One is the standard rate, which will be worked out between, I believe, somewhere between 12 to 18, in between the rate will be worked out. And another will be merit rate, which is some day-to-day consumer goods which will need a concessional rate. Those are merit good, daily consumption goods. And then there will be a third, is a special rate, which is a demerit good, which we call luxury item, etc. So this is a big reform so far the rate structure is concerned. Then there is a structural reform which are required over a period of experience. Now there are many industries where there are inverted duty. So on that part also the Prime Minister's, I believe, has said tax reforms will be made. So where it will be not a challenge where you have an inverted duty that your input tax rate is higher as compared to the output. So with the result that always you have a surplus and you are not in a position to get it back. And the third, I believe, the reform which is biggest is the procedural, and I say computerization, etc. Exporters have a issue that the refunds getting delayed, and there is a human intervention, etc. I believe the way in income tax, the human intervention has been almost brought to negligible level because of the faceless assessment, online filing, etc. Though GST has the same issue, same structure, etc., but still there is a lot of human intervention by granting refund, input tax credit, denial of this. I believe this GST reform which the Prime Minister has announced as a Diwali gift will be a remarkable one. The way that government has taken a courage to introduce on 1st July 2017, I think the Diwali reforms will be another bold step which will be announced, I think, by after the decision of the GST.